店長は何々何々、僕たちも早く帰ろう。こんにちは、ズビ先生です。This is actually a question from the Shin Kanzen Master book for JLPT N4. It's from the grammar book, and this is actually a book that I really like to use in class because I feel that the questions are around the same difficulty level as the actual JLPT exam, and sometimes the questions I feel are even harder than the JLPT exam. So this is one of those hard questions that trips up all of my students, and every time I look at it, I have to think twice about what the answer actually is. So today, we're going to break this down. I recommend that you pause the video right now, try to think of what the answer would be, and after that, I'll go through each of the grammar points that you see in the question, and then at the end, I'll reveal the correct answer. Pause. Let's begin. Don't be afraid to make mistakes because at the end, I'll go over some commonly made mistakes as well. Okay, so first of all, let's see what we can derive from reading the question sentence. 店長は something something, 僕たちも早く帰ろう. Immediately what you notice is that there are two doers, 店長 and 僕たち, right? And because it says 僕たちも早く帰ろう, that means that 店長 probably left already. Okay, now let's look at the options. 仕事がもう帰った、終わったら、ようだから. This question is also loaded with a lot of grammar points that students find difficult. That is the variations of yo. You know, yo can appear in so many different situations, and it appears here in one of its forms. And the other one is tara in 終わったら. This is a conditional, which also a lot of people find confusing. But don't worry, I'll explain it right now. Let's look at 終わったら first. So this is actually the easiest conditional to learn. So it's already in the past tense, right? 終わった. And then you add ら, meaning after this is done, then we will do this. When this is done, we will do this. For example, 勉強が終わったら寝る. So when will you sleep? いつ寝ますか? 勉強が終わったら寝ます. Okay. For example, let's say いつ起きますか? When will you wake up? アラームが鳴ったら起きます. Or 目覚ましが鳴ったら起きます. アラームが鳴ったら起きます. I'll wake up when my alarm rings. So tara is used when something is done already, or you're saying that when this thing is done, then I will do this. Okay? You can obviously use it in the past tense also. 勉強が終わったら寝た. When my studying was finished, I slept. Right? So that's how you use 終わったら. ようだ is very simple actually. The word yo itself means the appearance of something. So when you're saying that something looks like something, for example, let's say there's a really fat cat, okay, a fat white cat who looks like a sheep, then you would say この猫は羊のようだ. So you're saying that this cat seems like a sheep. They're not a sheep, but they seem like a sheep. So in this case, we use the noun, and that's why we put no. With verbs, it's even easier because you don't need to add anything before yoda. Let's say that your friend is angry, okay, like she seems angry. Then you would say 友達が怒っているようだ. Okay, so yoda, something something yoda, you just use when something seems like it. Someone seems like they're happy. It seems like it's raining. 雨が降っているようだとかね. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's try putting all of these together. So before we try to just assemble the sentence, we want to find pairs between the options. What can we pair with 仕事が? Because there's a ga after 仕事, we can assume that there's going to be a verb after it. It's usually a verb or an adjective, but since we don't have an adjective in the options, it has to be a verb. So what verbs are there? One is もう帰った, and the other is 終わったら, 終わるですね. So logically speaking, it can only be 終わったら because 仕事 cannot go home, right? 仕事 can end though. So 仕事が終わったらですね. That's our one pair. Okay. Meaning that leaves us with もう帰った and ようだから. Now you can think of what order it would go in. Is it ようだからもう帰った or もう帰ったようだから? But we know that the verb has to come before ようだから. So it has to be もう帰ったようだから. Okay, so our two pairs, now all we have to do is put them in the correct order. Be careful to not go wrong here. The answer is 店長はもう帰ったようだから仕事が終わったら僕たちも早く帰ろう. The answer is 仕事が. Okay, is this the answer you got? If you didn't, let's go through two common mistakes that I have that my students have made in the past. One common mistake in this sentence is that you get the combination, you get the pairs correct, but you arrange them in the opposite way. So 店長は仕事が終わったらもう帰ったようだから僕たちも早く帰ろう. In terms of meaning, it doesn't really change that much for the student. It still means that the 店長 left after he finished work, so we should also go home. Whereas in the correct version, it just means 店長 seems to have gone home, so when we finish work, let's also go home. Either ways, both people, both doers are doing work and then going home. It's just about whether you say it directly or not. Anyway, this ordering is wrong for one main reason. When you say 仕事が終わったら, you're saying when this happens. So when work finishes, you'll do this, or this will happen. And usually that's like a clear thing that you say. It's not ambiguous. It's not like, oh, it seems like I will do this. It seems like he did this, right? So you would say 店長は仕事が終わったら帰った. Or 私たちは仕事が終わったら帰る. That's fine. But when you say 仕事が終わったらもう帰ったようだから. ようだ is like a guess, or it's an uncertain thing, right? It just shows you that you're talking from observation. You're saying, oh, it seems like that's how it is. So たら and ようだ kind of contradict each other. Even though I wouldn't say this is completely wrong, but it sounds quite unnatural. But it's fine when it's flipped the other way, because now this 仕事が終わったら applies to 僕たち and もう帰ったようだから applies to 店長. So the sentence gets divided into two from here, whereas if you do it like this, the sentence is getting divided from here after から. Okay? So から is where the two sentences connect. Okay, I hope that's not too wordy or complicated. Next, another mistake that I've seen students make is 店長はもう帰った. Okay, so it ends here. And then 仕事が終わったらようだから僕たちも早く帰ろう. So I asked my student why they arranged it like this, and the logic was 店長はもう帰った full stop. 仕事が終わったら僕たちも早く帰ろう. And I think they put ようだから because it just didn't have any place to go. And I'm sharing this mistake because if one student has made it, I think there would be more students who made the same kind of mistake. So this is not a shade to my student. They're lovely students. とても頑張っています. Very hardworking. はい. So let's look at why this is wrong. First of all, in this kind of question, you can't really assume that you can just pause in the middle of a sentence unless there is some kind of connector word. So if it was もう帰ったから, then you could put it like this, but you can't just assume that you can imagine a full stop here, right? So that's one reason. And you already know that before ようだ, you need a verb, or you need a noun のようだ. There is 終わったら, but because たら, the conditional is attached here, you can't attach ようだから to 終わった。If it was 終わったようだから that's fine. But yes, this is why this arrangement is wrong. What about you? What sentence did you make? Did you get it right, or did you make the same kind of mistakes, or was it a completely new kind of sentence? Anyway, this is a pretty hard question, so even if it felt very confusing, don't worry. If you can solve this, like you're at the level where you don't even have to really worry about the JLPT N4 exam. Anyway, if you want to learn more, you know what to do. Click the subscribe button and like the video, press the bell icon, leave a comment, and if there's any tricky question, whether it's JLPT or anything that you want me to explain, then just leave them in the comments and I'll try to address them. ではまた次のレッスンで会いましょう。バイバイ。